And on that note, welcome everybody back to another episode of Nerd Talk, the show that brings you the best news at the best time.
Which is anytime.
That's very true. Anytime you're looking for news, we got it. As always, you know who it is. Your boy, the greatest, Gnosis Tech. I'm joined by the king himself, again, rising from the throne to join us to share his presence. Show us the compassion, the love.
You got to talk to your underlings at some point. You know?
You've got to. You got to let them know what's going on. Anyway, guys, we got a good podcast for you today. Not a lot of topics. This podcast is kind of going to be a small, short one. Maybe. Depends on how I'm feeling. I'm pretty excited today because today was Samsung's developer conference and they announced something great, or they teased it. I'm excited to talk about it. Again, I know you've seen a little bit about it as well. Looking forward to it. But of course, can't get into the juiciness because why would you want us to just get right into it?
You gotta make them wait.
You gotta make you want it. So you're gonna be getting some other stuff. So we got some topics today. We're gonna be talking about AMD announcing their new 7nm processor, which is a big milestone for them. AMD's rocking it. Apple came out with their new iPad Pros. So we're gonna go ahead and talk about these expensive devices because my goodness, they are very expensive. And let me tell you, if you got the money, whew.
I just saw someone have like a $600 Apple Watch today, and I'm like, what are you doing with yourself?
Why? Why are you spending $600 on an Apple Watch? Why? That's oh my god. I mean, you might as well. I mean, prices are there.
But that's more than half the price of an iPhone.
That's true. You might as well just buy it. I guess, well, yeah. So, yeah, I guess you're right. So we're going to go ahead and get into the podcast. But as always, before we do, got to give a quick shout out to my boy, Gnosis. Now, unfortunately, since I'm still under renovation, we didn't play any of his music, but he just released a new series called We Have Fallen. He's got some good songs on there. Two of my favorites are Aquatic Love and Trust. So make sure you guys check him out at soundcloud.com/Gnosis. The link is right there. Look at that. And it'll be in the description.
Don't even gotta do much work to find it.
Look at that. If you want to know where to go, it's right on here now. I actually added that, so you're welcome. But if you guys want to go ahead and take a look at it, link will be in the description below. Also, links to the articles will be down in the description below as well for you guys to go ahead and take a look and read on it as well. Now, normally these podcasts we do on Twitch. So again, if you're not following me there, make sure you are following me over on twitch.tv/JNosTech1. Again, JNosTech1, and follow me there. That way, when we do start going live again, you guys are notified. But we're going to be doing this mainly on YouTube, so you're going to be listening to just the audio. I know some of you guys like to listen to our sweet voices while you're running or jogging or reading, or
some of you even sleeping.
Maybe sleeping. Maybe that is your thing. You know, they have things out there, those little headsets to help you sleep. Maybe we're the one.
As I lull you to sleep, just remember the last words to say to you: "You're welcome."
that was the last words you heard from King Ken. You're welcome. You're welcome. As soon as he answers, all right, guys, you're welcome. That's it. Oh my goodness. All right. Make sure you guys check him out. Like I say, he had a new series he released. He's also working on another series. Again, I can't tell you what the name of it is, but I'm telling you right now, I think this one has outdone itself over the other two. I say that every time, but I promise you, this one is good. Make sure you check him out, soundcloud.com/Gnosis. So, we ready to get into the news, Ken?
More than ready.
More than ready. This man came ready. Sorry. Well, I was going to say sorry we started late, but we're not live streaming, so technically...
We have no time we need to start for this.
And there's kind of no time limit for these type of things, so... my goodness. This mouse does not like me.
All right. It doesn't help that everything is like...
Yeah, everything's over here,
half the room encompasses the computer.
Pretty much. Everything's over here, so I have a second monitor I got on the table, and then I have this wireless mouse, whatever you want to call it.
Mises.
I got a wireless Mies over here, so it's lagging, so it sounds like I'm struggling or angry. It's not.
It's because we are. We are struggling and we are angry.
That is true. Ooh, 50% off the OnePlus T if you got T-Mobile. Might have to switch carriers real quick. Anyway, all right.
I already know what you're waiting for. You don't even need to worry about that.
I know.
We're talking about it later.
That's true. All right, so first let's go and talk about AMD's 7nm Epic CPU chip. Now, this article is by Extreme Tech. See, we don't always go to The Verge. We go other places as well. Gosh, get it together. So basically, AMD announced their new Epic chip, Epic 2, and it is going to be running off the 7nm processor. So with this, you are going to be getting really nice performance gains, which is awesome. Now, I actually, not even going to lie to you, didn't realize they were actually announcing a new processor until they announced a new processor. I was like, oh.
They hit it kind of well.
They did. And they also announced 2 new GPUs as well. I don't know if these were the ones that were rumored to be released or if these are different ones geared to enthusiasts. I didn't really look at those yet. I'll probably do some research on that, and then within the next podcast, we'll go ahead and talk about those. Because I am interested to see, because AMD really hasn't released a new GPU in a little bit ever since the 500 series graphics cards. And I'm not going to lie, those were not the most impressive when it came down to performance. They weren't bad cards. They were good cards. But compared to like 1070, 1080, the 580 was only comparable to the 1060, which that's not good. Not at all. So, but nonetheless, you're getting some nice performance gains. Now, I'm trying to see if this is the, I believe this is the bigger of the chips. This is not the Ryzen series chips. These are the actual, or like Threadripper type chips as well. So you're going to be getting some nice performance boost gains on there. Pretty much everything's standard Infinity Fabric. You're getting all the stuff. So 7 nanometers is pretty good. I'm actually, again, I said before, I'll say it again, proud of AMD. They're sticking with a map plan. Intel,
they definitely come up a lot since from where they were, a while back when people think.
Yeah, that's true. And I mean, Intel is they're struggling still. They're still on the 14 nanometer. I think did they release a 10 nanometer chip?
I don't think so.
Okay, that's what I thought. Maybe they did. I swore I saw something on there. You guys can let us know in the comments below if they did, but I don't think they did, if I remember correctly.
Intel's bringing it back with their graphics card. I'm telling you, they're going to do it. They're blowing everyone away.
That's why they don't have
ray tracing.
That's why they don't have a 7 nanometer processor, because secretly they're releasing.
It's going to be 7 nanometer processors built into your GPU. You don't need a CPU anymore, just the GPU.
Wow, they've gotten to that point.
They combine those parts together.
Integrated graphics are dedicated graphics.
You know what? It's no longer integrated graphics. Integrated CPU into my graphics.
That's bad boy. Well, if it comes to shove, I'll be standing right up there. Like, Intel, give me this card, please. Anything. I'll take anything, because NVIDIA's cards are dying. Need somebody else. But as far as the breakdown, I believe this is a 64 core processor, which, my gosh, how long is it going to be before we stop with the cores? What are we going to go up to? I'm thinking like 200 cores at some point. Your computer could just do everything within a blink of an eye. That's it. Computers are AI now. That's it.
I mean, hey, where it's eventually going to be leading to.
More than likely. And it's funny, too, because Intel released their new 48-core processor. And it's funny, AMD does this all the time. They wait for Intel to do it, and then they release their processor, and then it's just like, oh, you have a 48-core? That's cute. 64 cores, baby, beat it. And then Intel's going to be like, really? Come on, guys. Come on.
Now 128.
Come on, 128 core, and then AMD's going to be like 256. It's just gonna keep going. It's just
no one's even buying these processors at this point. They're just making them.
That is very true. They are just popping them up, nice and easy.
They just make them and they sit in a warehouse.
I mean, if they kind of give them away to you, then maybe they would be able to.
I think you're just trying to get one for free.
So, AMD, if you hear me, please sponsor me.
No.
Please give me a Threadripper give me the highest one so I can be happy.
We need to be sponsored by Snapdragon.
The Snapdragon is the way of the future. They're the ones they're going to be everybody. Everybody's not going to be able to handle it. Ryzen, Intel, it's over. So if you guys are interested, who would be interested, because it's probably going to be expensive. There's no date on pricing, but we'll be seeing this more in 2019. So look forward to 2019. It's going to be a good year for processors, games, everything. It's going to be a great year for them. So, I don't know. What do you think, Ken? You want a 64 core processor?
I mean, I'd want it for free.
For free? No, you got to pay for it. What if it's only $500? No, that's the same price as an i9.
But I can't. I don't want to buy anything.
Okay. Well, that's
I want the save.
You want to save the money? save some money for RTX 2080 Ti.
Yeah.
No, the 1080 Ti.
I gotta wait for the next generation. Maybe they won't die.
Oh, maybe that is true. Calling shots here. Just poor graphics cards are falling off the place, dying. They don't know what they want to do. Terrible. Get it together, guys. So, AMD, man, I'm proud of you guys. You guys are doing great. Keep up the good work. I'm glad to see you guys are being able to stick to the plan that you guys had. Hopefully, we get some really good stuff next year. So, because we're coming up close to the end of this year, which is unbelievable to think. We're already almost at December. Then it's going to be Christmas. Then New Year's. Then 2019. And it's just going to start all over again. And we're going to be back here again saying the same thing. Where's our monster sponsorship?
They don't like us.
They do.
We've done so much for them.
We got to put a monster logo on these next time, and then they'll respect us. All right, going on to the next one. This next article is coming by Ars Technica, and this is going to be on the iPad Pros. Now, if you guys didn't pay attention to it at all, Apple announced a couple new things at their event. I forgot which one it was. Don't get mad at me. But
unforgivable.
Basically, they announced the new Mac Mini, MacBook Air, and then the iPad Pros. Now the iPad Pros are going to come in a 11-inch and a 12-inch, so similar size to last year's models, except for the smaller variant, which was a 10.5-inch. So they did increase it, but pretty much it's all screen. So basically, think of your iPhone 10 bigger with no notch. So kind of funny, they had no notch on the iPad Pros, but not gonna did that on the 10.
Obviously, you got to pay more of a premium for the notch on the Pro. They haven't come out with that version yet.
Oh, there's a secret version, the limited edition notched Pro. But the specifications are really good. Again, the screen is pretty much almost a all-screen display. You have your touch navigation like you did on the iPhone 10, 10s, 10s Max, 10R. It kind of has the body of a iPhone 6 in a way, or actually more so an iPhone 7, excuse me. The iPhone 6, the antennas, the way they were designed were a little bit different. This one, to me, has a little bit more of a body of a iPhone 7 with kind of the iPhone 6 aluminum backing. And then it uses the new A12X system chip, which I heard is stupid powerful. Almost there. I think they've compared it to the MacBook Pro 15-inch as far as performance, and said that the performance was as good as the 15-inch, which uses an i7 or an i9. So I don't know how true that is. Take that with a grain of salt, because I mean it's still a mobile chip. And overall, I mean, I did get a chance to watch the event when they announced the iPad, and I looked at it, and I will say they look nice, but you're still running a iOS system on the tablets. So there's only but so much that I could really say like, okay, cool. I would have liked to have maybe seen the operating system geared towards tablets more.
So you're thinking that, now they should start having some versions that are moving over their actual OS on them?
Yeah, like maybe not necessarily putting Mac OS on an iPad, because I can see how that could be difficult, but maybe more so having the operating system geared towards the tablet form factor. Because as of right now, you're pretty much using a blown up iPhone 10. There's nothing special really as far as the operating system about it. You have really good performance, and the performance is excellent, but the operating system can't really take advantage of what it can do. So I think now that they've, pretty much made a really good, did good on the hardware, let's focus now on more of the software to make, that, software be able to utilize the hardware very well. Because you've got that massive screen, but you can't really do much with it. So,
the only thing I can see it marketed to the best marketing for that is like digital designers and stuff like that, graphic artists, because Apple Pencil, of course, is pressure sensitive, that huge screen. Because, if you buy one of those, I might be pronouncing wrong, the Cintiq, like the drawing tablets, but the ones that have the screen built into it.
Yeah, I know what you're talking
If you buy one of those, they're a few grand or so, but you can buy that, and that's kind of there's probably more to those than I'm thinking there is, but it's kind of closely related to it for a lot less.
That is true. Yeah, I would like this. I mean, I guess so. I mean, it's still, we'll see what they do. They may be gearing towards doing that eventually, but right now, I don't know.
Future is now.
The future
Snapdragon.
Future is now. Snapdragon is the way to go. So of course, bringing along with the new design, they also came up with a new design for the Apple Pencil. Apple Pencil now supports wireless charging through the iPad itself. So kind of how the Surface does, where you have the magnet on one side of the pen, drop it onto the tablet, it stays on. Apple Pencil does the same thing now, but it can also be charged via that way as well, which I thought that was actually pretty cool. It seems, I don't know how long the Apple Pencil is on the second Apple Pencil 2 is, but I know with the Apple Pencil 1, it is long. It does not simulate a pen or pencil very well. As far as writing and using it, it's good, but it's lengthy.
I don't know. I think they're smaller.
I think it is a little bit smaller. So I haven't actually seen one yet because they haven't been released yet. But I would hopefully it is smaller because I could not. That the first generation of that pen was just long and it was very glossy, so it slipped out of the hand very easy. And since it didn't have the ability to do like wire, the ability to attach to the iPad and charge through it, I think this one is a much better iteration of the pencil because now you can take it with you without having to worry about if I'm going to lose it or not. So that's a nice step up. They also announced their neural engine on here, so you have neural technology on there as well. So kudos to Apple again. A lot of this hardware is really good, but again, my biggest thing is the software. iOS needs to take better advantage of these phones, not only the tablets, but I think also phones as well, because you're getting these big screens, but it's not being able to really utilize it. I know some people necessarily wouldn't care about that at all, but I do believe if you're going to have a big phone, put the software around it to where it can actually take advantage of it pretty well. And Apple has a good chance to do it because, they're known for simplicity and intuitiveness. So, I think with this, it's nice, but again, the software is where I still say you're still using, it's still iOS. It's not anything special. There's nothing different about iOS from their tablet to the phone. And I say that's a bad thing. Again, it's simplicity. You know what you get no matter what. But if they could tailor the software to work better on a tablet and then work better on a phone, I think then you could see some separation there and it, becomes a little more useful. Plus, of course, pricing. So if you start off with the 11-inch, it starts off at $799. The 12-inch, I believe, starts off at $999, and they can go up pretty expensive. They have 64, 256, 512, and now a 1 terabyte model as well. So the 1 terabyte model, what
are you doing?
You better have a lot of credit cards because the 12-inch I think is like $1899. So you're pretty much MacBook territory. And then the 12-inch is, the 11-inch is, I think the highest I saw was $1499 if I remember correctly. So they're expensive. And that's not including accessories, the pencil, nor Apple Care, which the pencil actually increased in price. It was $99 with the first generation. It's $129 now.
What are you doing? What are you spending that much money on it for? Don't you dare go over $2,000 for an iPad.
Oh my God, that is... Can you imagine that?
Oh,
you're getting a tablet.
Physically
you're saying, I want an iPad. You're spending that much money. You could be getting a computer.
Can you see like the whole difference in price market here?
True.
This tablet, which is over $2,000, I'm gonna say $2,200 after case, maybe $2,300, $2,400 after Apple Care.
Yeah.
And then you look at a Fire tablet, which starts at $50. Look how much difference they are and the capabilities of them.
Are still the same thing. Oh my God. Let's see. We pretty much knew this was gonna happen. Especially like when the iPhone 10 came out, that was Apple's way of seeing would people still buy their products even if the price was increasingly high. And they quickly saw that even though the iPhone 10 didn't do as well as Apple expected, it still did well than expected. But people were willing to pay $1,000 for a phone, and everybody started following the same shit. They're now doing it with the iPads. The iPads are now more expensive, and that's not including any accessories. You don't get anything. You have to literally buy everything else, which everything else is usually, they cost around $150 and up. And I can imagine that with the accessories for the new iPads, they're going to be around $150 and up. And then you got the pencil, which is another additional $129. And then if you're getting protection and you're putting all this other, it pretty much you're going to be guaranteed to spend over $1,000 for even the baseline model. That's insane. And it's almost like, what are you getting? I mean, yes, the performance again. The performance is fantastic, and yes, iPads are really, really good tablets overall. But geez, you might as well just get a computer.
Just buy a MacBook at that point.
I want nobody complaining to me about the prices of computers, because if I see somebody with a new iPad and they complain about the price of a computer, I'll be like, how much did you pay for that? I paid $1,200. Don't talk to me. Do not talk to me, because you're a hypocrite. You know dang well that's expensive.
MacBook of similar quality would have been like $200 or $300.
I know.
Well, way better quality. What am I talking about? Would have been $200 or $300 more.
Exactly. I mean, and you get a actual computer with a MacBook. I mean, if you're looking at a 1 terabyte iPad, just get a MacBook. I'm trying to figure out like what could justify somebody saying, yeah, I want a 1 terabyte iPad Pro.
Just go get 2 iPhone XRs and then have some spending money left over.
I know. You know how many iPhone 10Rs you get? You can actually get almost 3 10Rs with the price you paid for everything on an iPad. That's crazy.
The 1 terabyte one, yeah.
That's crazy. I cannot. It's just baffling. And again, this is how they paved the way, because no matter what, people are still going to buy these. Like they're going to look at the price, they're going to complain, and they're going to buy it. And again, good hardware, but again, the software doesn't utilize it very well. You know, like I said, I'm not really a big fan of iOS. You're somebody who just likes using their phone, you know, or you like using your product, you want it to work, great for that. You're a person who, you know, does stuff on your phone, actual stuff, that's where I kind of have an issue with iOS. But I'm not saying I hate it. It's still it's a good operating system for what it is, but especially when it comes down to a tablet, it could be better utilized. Much better. They could definitely work on improving it for this tablet, because no matter what, you got the grid system, you know, there's nothing really taking advantage. I mean, you have the ability to run 2 applications at the same time, but the way it works is not very, to me, it's not very good. It could be much better, especially since you do have these bigger iPads and now you get a lot more screen and a smaller body. They should be focusing heavily on making the software experience just as good as the hardware experience. Because I know they were talking about making it where the one app can work throughout all of the devices. So you basically have one application, but depending on the device you use, will show up in a different form factor. So Photoshop would show you the full-fledged version of Photoshop on a MacBook. It may show you the mobile version on, you know, a iPhone, and then it may show you a tablet version on the iPads. So I don't know when we're going to get that technology or we're going to see it. Hopefully maybe like iOS 13, the next iteration of iOS, maybe we'll see some, you know, separation between the platform, because you are pretty much getting, you know, an iPhone experience on a bigger screen. So I would like to see better utilization of that. So
definitely.
But nonetheless, they are out. You can pre-order them if you want. I'm curious to know what you guys think, because that's a lot of money. You know, but I mean, some people out there, they would find a good reason to use it. So if you guys are, you know, interested, let us know as the reasoning as to why.
Convince us.
And convince us. Let me find a reason for me to go out and buy this now. Find a reason, and I'll go buy it.
If they had a call feature on it and text feature, you need to go buy it. Then it's a cell phone.
I mean, you got iMessage, so I mean, there you go.
Yes, sure.
So, but they actually show you some benchmarks of the iPad Pro compared to other tablets. So the 2017 iPad Pro, 2016 iPad Pro, 2018 iPad, and then the Galaxy Tab S4, which uses a Snapdragon 835, which I just realized that. I didn't realize it. I knew he uses Snapdragon, but I didn't remember using an 835, but whatever. So it shows you, I think, in single core and multi-core. So single core, the iPad Pro, the 2018 model, does the best, because it's got pretty much an 8-core chip inside, which is crazy to think that your tablet has as much performance or as much power or many cores and RAM, storage size, as a computer. You know, I know people are saying that tablets might be the way they replace a computer. What do you think? You think they're going to replace computers? Because they haven't done it yet. So do they have any chance of replacing it?
I mean, as they get these components smaller and smaller, they can easily put them in tablets. Yeah.
True. I can see it.
I know, like Razer has a lot of their vapor chamber cooling, which makes it really small, and they can cool these smaller chips, so they could eventually move it into.
I can see it. I mean, even like with Snapdragon, they've got Windows computers that run off of their processors, but it uses a full-fledged Windows system. Now, do you think that it will completely replace desktops and laptops, or do you think it'll replace like the average laptop and the average desktop? But when it comes down to like, say for us who are gamers and they game on a computer, it'll replace it like that at some point.
Laptops, I'm pretty sure they'll replace eventually. Desktops, I don't know, because desktops are like people like to show off that type of thing.
Very true.
Laptops people don't build; they're just pre-made ones a lot of times, so they're not really something you show off. Something. Desktops are something that you make. You can just show off people. It's like it's like, you have those cars that people customize and everything like that, and they have car shows to show them off and stuff like that.
That is true.
Desktops are kind of like that because people can customize them however they want.
Right.
People can buy all these custom pumps and make their own water cooling with different colors through it, everything.
That's never going to go away.
I mean, I'm never doing that. That's too much work.
That is true. Here we go. Okay. Sorry, I was looking at the spec sheet again. I agree though. I don't think it's going to replace.
Laptops. I think
it might replace laptops. I think laptops are going to turn into tablets. I think that's what's going, because the services are pretty much they're considered laptops, but they're tablets. So I do think that at some point a laptop, the way it'll be identified, will be more so a tablet.
Now, desktops could eventually, depending how good they get by doing it or how much money they put into it, could be replaced by all-in-ones. I would say they could make all-in-ones that are. Let's say like all-in-ones that have the back of the monitor have actually, I'm thinking a word for it, where you can hot swap pieces from the back. You know how Razer had that desktop they were showing off or whatever they were making, that you could literally just take off the piece, whatever had different parts in it. And they were each individually water cooled. You can make an all-in-one like that where they're all in the back and you can pull it out and replace it like that.
That'd be interesting. That'd be interesting. I mean, I've never really given thoughts to the all-in-ones. I know there was a all-in-one out there that could do gaming, but there were still flaws with that, just because graphics cards are still big.
So, I mean, it's something that in the future could possibly be a thing, but, maybe not, because people like different-looking, fancy-looking monitors.
I'm going to say, because it would really depend, because especially if you got somebody who's an enthusiast and they like building, I would very rarely think that an all-in-one, you would be able to do the same thing like you would a desktop. So if you wanted to change out your components and add lights and do this and that, an all-in-one, because it's smaller, doesn't have as much space to really grow. So I think maybe like pre-built systems will go to all-in-ones. So you can get a pre-built all-in-one that can game and do other things. But somewhere I still feel like desktops are still going to be existent. Because as long as you have people out there who want to build and do all the customization and, love showing off, their rigs, there's always going to be a desktop. Laptops are kind of gravitating towards the tablet industry. I can kind of see where it's not that laptops are going away. It's just that they're evolving. They're not they're not what we had back in like 2005 is not the same as what we have today in 20. Laptops were thick. Now they're thin. Now they're going to the point where they're turning into tablets. So, I mean, one may argue we kind of are in the realm where laptops are getting replaced, but I wouldn't say they're getting replaced. They're just kind of evolving into something a little bit different. So the word tablet and then the word laptop are eventually no longer going to exist, because your laptop will be your tablet and can still do everything that you can do. So now you don't really need an Android tablet or an iPad, because that computer can do it all. But we'll see. Maybe nobody else sees it like us. Maybe we're just one of the few. But quickly going back to the iPad Pro, multi-core benchmarks. This is where they compared the specifications to the MacBook Pros, the 2018 model and the 2017, 2016. And the 2018 MacBook Pro, of course, because it has the 8th gen processor inside, does end up beating the 2018 iPad Pro. But the 2018 iPad Pro actually beats out the 2017, 2016 MacBook Pro, which shows you how far we've come with performance, especially in tablets.
What I'm seeing here that they should spend that extra, save some money and not buy that terabyte iPad Pro and still get that MacBook.
Yeah,
Pro.
yeah. But still, I mean, it's not so significant.
Well, the 2018 MacBook Pro.
Yeah, 2018. Yeah, still good. Yeah, and I think that's just because the 2018 is pretty much what is it, 6 core? Because there's i7 knows i7 I think is what 8 core now, 8th gen.
I think it depends which one. I mean, it's 8th gen. I'm pretty sure in the iPad and the MacBooks.
The MacBooks, yeah, it's 8th gen, but I know the MacBook Pros are nothing but i7.
Yes, they don't do i5s, I believe, anymore of them.
No. Well, I don't remember.
They're making new MacBook Airs, I think. Though those are probably gonna have i5s in them.
Yeah, they'll have the 8th generation. Well, no, those are dual core.
Okay.
The MacBook Airs are still
the new ones.
Core. Yeah, even the new one is still it's an 8th gen, but it's a dual core 8th gen.
I didn't even know they made dual core 8th gens anymore.
I didn't know either. That shocked me. I was like, that's still a thing? Like, why a dual core? But cost, they gotta make the cost down. Yeah. But I think the MacBook Pro 13-inch might still be i5, and then the 15-inch is i7.
I could
it's
inform us right now. Let's see.
Oh, we're gonna find it right now. See, this is how we get answers. We just look it up. It makes it easier for us. I can go on
2018. We don't care about the old MacBook
No,
Pros.
We don't care about the old ones. We care about the new one.
It is the 13-inch MacBook Pro with Touch Bar starts at a steep 1800 for a quad core 8th gen i5, but it's still quad core.
Yeah, so it's quad core,
but it's i5.
Yeah, so i5.
So they don't have dual cores, at least, luckily.
Right. So I mean, I don't know what they're comparing these. I'm assuming they might be comparing it to either to an i7. It would almost have to be. Maybe, I don't know. Let me see. Yeah, 15-inch MacBook Pro with an 8th gen core.
That's the i9 version.
Yeah, so they're comparing it to the i9
version.
Thing
blows it away. It's an i9 too.
Exactly.
The i9 version.
Well, I want to see the i7 do some damage. Come on.
But I guess they're trying to say, look how small this is compared to it. And it can still be that close to an i9.
Yeah, that I will say that is actually for multi-core, that is fairly impressive that it can keep up and somewhat beat some of the MacBook Pros that are out there right now. So I mean, it's not like it's not somewhat worth it, but I wouldn't get the 1 terabyte. Better go get that cloud storage.
I mean, it's definitely worth it, but you just, like you said earlier, the software built into it's just not worth the price though. It doesn't match the hardware quality. Yeah, I think that's where, to me, even though the hardware is fantastic, that's where it falls. Mm-hmm. Because, going to comparison, Galaxy Tab S4, and I'm going to compare it to that one because that, to me, if there's a competitor out there in the tablet industry besides the Pixel Slatebook, which is Chromebook, which nobody's really a big fan of, depending on who you are. But the Tab S4 has the built-in DeX, which gives you the Windows-like experience on, on an Android operating system. And to me, that's about $600. So and then if you get the keyboard, it's about $700-800. So it's around the pricing of an iPad Pro if you get everything. Does the Tab S4 come with the pen? Yes, it does come with the pen. So you do get that included in the box. Whereas on the Apple one, you got to pay $120 for that. You got to pay $129 for it. So I mean, of course, if you're not a stickler for or against Android or iOS, whatever the case may be, you get, to me, a better value with the Tab S4, even though, yes, the iPad Pro has better performance, and the performance on it is fantastic. Again, your software experience, you're still just getting iOS. Whereas with, like, the Tab S4, for example, you still get Android, but you kind of get Android in a different form factor. So it benefits a little bit more because, you've got the window mode like you would on a Windows computer and your Mac computer. So you're basically kind of using a mini computer there. And also too, the amount of accessories you're going to get are, going to come out in total much cheaper than if you go with an iPad. Your baseline iPad starts off at $799, and that's not including all the other accessories. And if you put Apple Care on that, so that immediately is going to be more expensive. So I think if Apple works on the software, makes the software better on a tablet for their iPads, I think, yes, then I can start seeing the buy might be a little bit better. But until the software, to me, is formatted well for tablets, I don't see spending $800 on it. Because you're literally just getting iOS. Your iPhone will be able to still do the same thing iPad will do. There's nothing different that to me would be enough to really justify it. Do they have I need to look it up myself if they have a benchmark comparison between the 10 Max against the new iPad Pro 2018 and see what they're comparing?
I don't think so. I don't know. I haven't seen anything about it. I don't think they would though, just because it's it's a phone to a tablet. They're like, oh, who cares about?
We don't want people. They don't want people to know that the Max is just as strong as the Pro.
There you go. They find out the 10s Max is just as powerful. They're like, what? I don't even need to get the Pro. So they're never gonna do that. So, but anyways, that's the iPad Pro. Like I said, good hardware, software could be better. When they do that, give me a call, Apple. We'll talk. People are gonna think we just hate Apple here.
We do.
They're no Pixel. Let me stop for people. People start raging. Excuse you, the Pixel's got all these. Shh, quiet. Everybody's beautiful. All right, now let's get into my favorite.
Oh, what you've been here for?
What you guys have waited for? Maybe you probably weren't waiting. You probably were eating a donut through all this. Good info.
They ate that donut for a long time. Then
they did. They took a nibble every time. every time
you disowned Apple.
There you go. Every time I disowned it, they took a nibble and a shot.
And they're already dead.
I'm sorry. Rest in peace. Excuse me. So, but here we are, guys. So today was Samsung's developer conference. They announced some good stuff. I'm going to talk a little bit about it, but they teased something potentially great. And this is something I'm actually very interested in potentially getting. More than likely will get, because why not? Might as well. If you're going to spend money on an iPad Pro, I'm going to spend money on this. Just going to say that. So this article is going to be coming from CNET. I did actually get a chance to watch the developer conference. I have to say, first of all, let me just say, DJ Co is the coolest dude I've ever seen. He came out here with this outfit. I was like, my boy chilling, looking like he just came from golf. He's just like, hey, all right, got to do this. All right, I got you. I like DJ Co. He's a cool guy. I would like to meet him in person. DJ Co, please let me be part of this Samsung experience. But basically, Samsung, they announced some new things for developers to kind of help them develop more kits. One of the big things was Bixby. And here, clearly before we even started, was just like, get rid of Bixby. But they believe in this product. They believe in it. They believe it'll do great things.
Yeah, cut your losses before they become too much of a loss.
Oh, after this, they've invested too much into Bixby. There's no coming back from that. They've already put too much into Bixby now, so they're just like, we might as well just go all out with it.
I need my Bixby speakers then.
Yes, so give me Bixby smart speaker, please. So they announced some new things that Bixby is pretty much going to be opening up to all the Samsung products, refrigerators, TVs, phones, tablets. Bixby's coming to everything, okay? Bixby's taking over. It's going to be in everything. So if you have a Samsung product, get excited. They're also going to be coming out with the Bixby Developer Studio, which is to help make developing programs or to help improve Bixby. One of the big things they talk about was human plus AI, which was actually pretty interesting. So the way it works is that you would give Bixby a command, and based off of the command, it could create the program for you. And then you could just pretty much run the program to see how it turns out. I thought that was pretty cool because that's a great iteration, makes programming a lot easier, more simplistic. And if you have it where you just, tell it, make a reservation in space, and it can just automatically generate a program for you, it just saves you half of the time. So I actually thoroughly enjoyed that. That was actually pretty neat. They announced that Bixby is going to be coming to their smart TV, so it's going to be integrated in their smart TVs a lot more. They also announced a few other things as far as smart things, how that's going to be improved. They also announced their new UI. Now, I'm actually excited for this one because it's pretty much still going to be Android Pie, but you are going to be getting a little bit of a different experience. Now, I actually have my review for the Pixel 3 getting ready to be released soon. I was actually working on it. So once it's uploaded, you guys will see that. But just to kind of give you some insight, I like Android Pie, but there are some things I wish it did better as stock form, because a lot of other developers use Android Pie and they do it in different ways. And you'll kind of see what I mean by that. But I'm not, again, I like Android Pie. I think it's good. But on the Pixel 3, it's just not as intuitive as I would like it to be. I think even still, I will say iOS has a better navigation system. Theirs is a little bit more fluid than this, but I do also know that other developers, they integrate their own way of using, navigation bars and Android Pie a little bit better. And basically the one UI is kind of what that is. So what they've done is that they've heard, the call that, a lot of people when they're using their devices needs to be simple and it shouldn't be too complex. Everything should just be a click away. So they've kind of improved off of that. So they made the icons better. They're more noticeable. So when you click on something, you see what you're clicking on. They made it a little bit more simplistic now. One of the big things they did is that instead of having a lot of the navigation prompts at the top, they've put them at the bottom where normally your hand rests. That's a really nice thing because because of the fact we do have a lot of the big phones, a lot of the stuff that we do when it comes down to going back, URLs, things like that, are at the top. So you pretty much, if you're pretty much holding it one-handed, it's very difficult to put your hand all the way up to the top left-hand corner or right-hand corner, or even at the top in itself. A lot of times you find that you really using stuff at the bottom helps a little bit. So Samsung heard that, and that's pretty much one of the big things with this UI is kind of making one-handability a lot easier for the consumer. So they've now had where the prompts, when you get prompted to do something, it comes up from the bottom. It doesn't come up in the middle or the top, from the bottom. Same thing with a lot of the phrases, like for example, the dialer, where you have recent, contacts, keypad, and those used to be at the top. Now they're at the bottom. So it's supposed to make it much easier to gain access to it. And if you're using your device one-handed, makes it a little bit easier to do one-handed. I like that. I think that is great. And I'm actually glad to see that Samsung is kind of embracing the idea of making Android a little bit easier to use, because a lot of times I see that one of the big things with some people is that when it comes down to using Android, there's a lot of instability. It has a lot of app crashes. It's not as intuitive to use. So people will gravitate usually more to iOS because of that, because iOS pretty much, it just works. That's the thing. If you want a phone that works with no crashes, you usually go to iOS. Now, I'm not saying Samsung hasn't necessarily improved the crashing and those type of issues, but being able to just make it a little bit easier to use your phone, I do think they're in a step in the right direction.
Definitely.
Over the time, Samsung has really changed their UI a lot. Because think about back in TouchWiz days with like the Galaxy Note 2, it was very heavy, taxing on the memory, taxing on the performance, so many features, and they kept popping up. And now they've kind of simplified it. So they're getting you to pretty much that stock Android experience with giving you some really nice features that you don't get with stock Android. So I do think that they're doing a nice job, and the UI looks good. It looks very pretty, very elegant. They have a dark mode, which is now everywhere, which is
everyone uses that now.
Yeah,
YouTube switch to the dark mode.
Dark mode is the
Twitch dark mode.
Dark mode is like God right now. It's you must have dark mode. Like even I use it. I love dark mode because it's just something about the way it looks. I
even downloaded an extension for my Chrome to make it look like it's incognito dark mode every time.
Ken, what are you doing? That's how important dark mode is to us. It's so important we get an extension for it. I'm actually very happy. They are going to be having an open beta, so if you have a Samsung device, which I do, but I gave it to somebody and I don't want to give it back.
What?
Yeah, I know. I told him, I said I give him the Pixel 3, and then you know what she told me? No. I spoiled her. How dare I want my phone back. But it will be in beta. So if you have a Samsung device, sign up for that beta, because if you didn't watch the developer conference, go watch it on Samsung's developer YouTube page. I'll leave a link in the description if you guys want to watch it yourself. I'm looking forward to it. I'm very excited to see where they're going with this, and I cannot wait to see what happens. So that was one of the things that I found important to me. Bixby, it's got a long ways to go. Bixby's got a long way to go. It's not bad, but it's still not like, it's not changing anything. I'm not going to say anything else other than that. Bixby, if they can improve Bixby and make it really good, and get it to Google level status and better than Google, I'll then be like, you know what? We all doubted
They
you.
got a long way to go before they can do that.
It's like, we doubted you, but you know what? Lied. And then, of course, they had their Google Home speaker, which I know they announced during the Note 9. When are they going to release it?
Not Google Home. Galaxy Home.
Galaxy Home.
Yeah, don't get them. They're
Oh,
two different.
God. I'm starting. It's happening. They're merging. So, with all that being said, they then go to the magical part. They talk about their displays, and they were talking about how they've changed the game with their displays, announcing the first ever phone with AMOLED. Then they had the Infinity display, talking about the technology behind it. And then they announced their new display technology, which is the Infinity Flex display, pretty much allowing you to be able to fold the phone, fold the device, and flex the screen. And with that being said, the guy that was talking about it then takes right out of his pocket the phone, but we don't see anything because they pretty much blacked it out. So all we see is the screen. And basically you have, he shows you the way you can, pretty much the foldable phone. So basically the front is going to be where you kind of use like a regular device. You open it up and it turns into a full-fledged tablet. Now I think it's from what I remember reading, it was a 7-inch tablet. Whoa. I'm telling you right now, I don't care what anybody else says. You could say all day, trash, crap, anything. This is pretty cool. This is pretty cool. It's you can see a picture of him and be like, oh, okay, that's not bad. It's one thing to see a picture, but you actually got to see him do it. It's like, well then. Literally, they just made the phone that can do it all. Now your phone's a tablet now.
So what if they make it so if you flip it out to a tablet version, it actually incorporates Samsung DeX into the tablet version?
See, that would be pretty dope. Now, I do know from what they were showing with this conference, they actually showed that they've been working with Google to really work on utilizing the phone/tablet screen, so the continuity of it. Yeah. Making it where when you're in tablet mode, Google knows that it's in tablet mode and the apps work in that mode. So Google basically announced that I think it was the API for it is now begun. So developers can start working on making their programs work for the phone and the tablet, which I'm actually happy to see because I think with this technology, especially being a first generation, this is going to really need to be impressive. Now, I think by just when he showed it, I think what they have was impressive already. I like the direction this is heading, and I like the potential that this has as well. Again, this might not be for everybody. Not everybody may find this beneficial or even find this, good. But you can't deny it's somewhat cool. Like, it's kind of cool to actually see them be able to show this off.
I would love this, because I'm done using my phone the rest of the day. Now I'm in bed, ready to watch some Twitch or YouTube, flip it into a tablet right there.
That is so useful. I was literally so happy. I was like, so basically, are we just getting to the point where the tablet's now going to be dead? Like, are we going to eventually see this become a thing? Because So
now you're telling me my cell phone's going to replace my laptop.
Your cell phone's going to replace your laptop and your tablet. So pretty much when you're bored and you want to play that Candy Crush on a full screen,
it's ultra thin, so it can actually unfold multiple times.
Yeah, it opens up, it unfolds. So this is a really cool technology. I think nobody's going to admit it, but this is definitely going to revolutionize. This is definitely going to pioneer something new. Because I actually did see a Chinese company do a foldable phone, but the way they designed it wasn't like this. Now, again, we don't know the actual design. The guy was like, oh, I can't show you everything, but just let you know that this is coming up. Now, I have a speculation that two things. This could potentially be a version of a Galaxy S10, because there are a lot of rumors going on with the S10. Everybody is kind of looking to the S10 to be this great phone. Everybody. I literally mean everybody. Everybody there's so many rumors going on. We have nothing confirmed. But maybe this is a version of the S10 that you can get.
Maybe it'll be a version of the next Note too.
Maybe
since it's a full tablet.
See, that's what I was thinking too. Maybe it could be the Note, but maybe they're gonna end up changing the design at some point.
Or like you said before, maybe they'll combine the two together, and this is the Note mode, and then
might be
because
I was thinking this if they're going with this direction of making a foldable phone that turns into a tablet, that this might be where they may. I was thinking that maybe they may stop making tablets and focus more on this. Because to me, in a way, if you think about it, this kind of makes sense. It really makes sense because you have your phone, 9 times out of 10 you have your laptop, 9 times out of 10 you have a tablet. You're taking all that with you. Well, it's a lot easier to just have your phone be able to do both. So when you're sitting there watching a Netflix show, like you said, tablet mode. When you got to go on the go, phone mode. It in a way it makes sense. Now again, it's a first generation product, so again, we don't really know how good it's going to be off the gate. I do believe that there's a lot riding on this to be great, and I think it is really going to come down to the software utilization. Now, one thing they did show was when the device is in tablet mode, you have the ability to have 3 apps open at the same time. So you can actually do serious multitasking, kind of how your computer is. And I think that's kind of where Samsung is really going. They're trying to make they're trying to make it like a computer experience, basically. So they're working with Google, and they're going to be working with developers to really get this working so that when you open or close the phone, your phone knows when it's open, when it's tablet, and when it's not. And based off of that, the apps will work differently. That, to me, is exciting.
Yeah, and they said because other companies are working on their own versions too, like Huawei is working on their own, and I think LG has one of their own. Yeah, which LG's already been working with stuff like this, like their roll-up televisions and stuff they've been talking about.
Oh yeah, it's definitely changing, and they even showed that they're going to be. This is like kind of the start of it because we're going to change it to where the screens can stretch and then they can roll up. So we're pretty much seeing now kind of where the future might be going. Where pretty much your one device will be able to do multiple things.
Soon I'll just be able to have my wall made out of a screen.
That would be true. I mean, if you get one of the high-end LG TVs, you basically could do that.
You can stretch it and just put it around the corners.
You're like, I'm interested in a 100-inch TV. Stretch it out. That'd be great.
It's my blinds from my window, just as a TV. You pull them down.
Exactly. So the Infinity to the Flex display. Now, one thing I did notice, because I had to look back at the picture in the video, is the phone when it's in phone mode. The screen doesn't actually take up the entire body. Now, this could be for multiple reasons. Again, first generation product. Maybe they haven't really found a way to make the entire screen be used. I was thinking that it works kind of very similar to Samsung's cases, that they have the S View cases, where you have a display. The display doesn't actually take up all of the casing. It takes up a portion, but you can still do some functionality in there. I think, to me, it kind of resembles that. And then you have your tablet. So I'm thinking that this is probably going to be more of a tablet with phone capabilities than really a phone that could be a tablet. I think that's kind of where I'm seeing it geared toward. So I could be wrong, but the way it seems, at least in the picture now, again, they could be changing the design of this.
Yeah, maybe. It's not going to be out for another year, so it could be that the design's not final for it either.
Yes, that is true. And I know they were saying that we are going to be receiving something like this within the next couple months. So we could potentially actually see. That's what I was thinking. This could be a version of the S10 that maybe we don't know yet. Because, in a couple months, we're going to be getting the S10 very soon. I think somewhere January or March. This could be something that we might actually see in full mode, because they're saying that they're ready for mass production within the next couple months. So this somewhere along the line, this timeline, this device is going to be ready. I just don't know what it's going to be. It could be the next Note, because it'd be smart if it was a Note, because then you have the pen. Boom, that just makes sense in general.
Yeah,
I would be like, whew, sucks for all you guys. But I'm excited. Well, I mean, what do you think, Cam? If the phone comes out, see all the other phones. Did you something you buy? Did you like?
It depends on the cost. I don't even know how much something like this would cost yet.
What do you think the cost would be on something like this for this new technology? What is the cost for this device? What do you think it would be?
I mean, the new Note, they cost like $1,000. So this has got to be like $1,400.
That's pretty good.
I mean, that makes sense to me. $1,400 or something like that.
I was gonna say.
I guess it depends how it's a new technology, screen technology. I guess it just depends. They're gonna keep it 4K and everything. So
I was gonna say maybe like it starts lowest at 12.
And then 12.
I would say maybe because they would have to make this somewhat affordable. And if they go straight to 1,500, people are gonna be like, what? They were like, I could get an iPhone.
But this is our Tab S4 inside of our phone.
I know.
Our new phone.
See, I would spend the money, but see, other people are not me. They're not gonna just go buying stuff willy nilly.
Yeah.
I would say that they were gonna have a base model, 1,200, and then top of line model would probably be standard fairly high.
You know what? 500. I'm saying it right now. $500.
Woo, $500.
But
man.
give me 5 of them.
$500. 5. Woo.
I'm buying 5 of them.
You're buying 5 of them. You gonna give them away? You gonna keep them? I give them away, but my wife won't let me. Oh my god. Oh my god. I haven't heard that commercial in a while. So. All right, but I'm excited to see what this is going. I wish I could tell you guys how excited I am.
He just wants it already.
I really do. Like, I was really hoping that they'd say, and this is going to be, you're going to see more about it tomorrow. We're going to release it next year. I'd be like, yes, it's happening.
You're really hoping for is, and tomorrow pre-orders will open up.
That's what I was. Oh my god, I was talking with one guy. He was like, dog, if they announce this and then they say pre-order start today, I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna just drop everything. I'm gonna get it. I don't care what I gotta do.
Sorry, goodbye Pixel 3. I loved you.
I was looking at the Pixel. I was like, Pixel, you're nice and you're good, but you can't beat what Samsung's doing right now. You know what? What make it better is that they just need to have that dedicated Bixby button just for Ken.
No. Delete that phone's returned right away.
Buy one foldable phone, get a Galaxy Home speaker for free.
Well, how do I uninstall this physical button?
Can I remove the button? Is that a choice?
Do you have an option to trade this button in for a notch?
Oh my god, no.
They have a notch.
This is Samsung. Look, Samsung is trying everything they can to get rid of the notch. This is the way to get rid of the notch. By not doing it.
It has one notch on phone mode, and you're like, well, it can't be any worse on tablet. You open up 2 notches.
Oh my god, it's like just long notches, just like this. You're just like
the 2 notches are on the side, actually.
Oh god! Oh no! Please don't do that.
It's where your thumbs rest.
Samsung, look. That's a palm rejection built into the notches. It's like, I hope they never do that. I love them because they don't want to go with the notch. So let them be one of the few companies to do notch. Everybody's doing it too much. So, but I'm excited. I really wish there was more information. I really do. Like, you don't understand how disappointed I am that all we get is just pretty much to see the screen.
Silhouette of it.
I just want to see. I really want to see this thing in its full beauty, but we're not gonna see it within the next month. So, Samsung Developer Conference done gift me at Infinity Flex Slim. So, but that was the Samsung Developer Conference. Like I said, if you guys want to actually take some time to read like specifically what they did for what they talked about, we will have the article linked in the description below, and I also have the YouTube page linked in the description below where you can go ahead and watch the developer conference. Actually, I just have the video. You can actually watch the developer conference because it was entertaining. So this one thing blew my mind. I don't even know who he was. I can't remember it. But this guy came out. He was talking about the Bixby Studio. Then the man took put duct tape on him, and then had a Bixby pin and put it on a shirt, and then he snapped it and it turned into a tie. I was like, what? This man done did magic. Everybody was like, whoa, this man done did magic.
He's got a capsule from Dragon Ball.
Yeah, exactly. He was talking about, we're going to make it great. And he was like, I was like, what the world? And the tie was silver with I was like, this man done did magic at a developer conference. I was like, all right, Samsung, you win. Let me see somebody else do magic at their conference. Let me see that. But anyway, guys, that's going to be it for this podcast. We hope you guys enjoyed as always. I hope you enjoyed my excitement because I'm excited. Are you excited? Let me know in the comments.
If you can't feel his excitement through there, you might want to go get yourself checked at his doctor.
Yeah, you may.
There's a lot of it.
Yeah, there's a lot of excitement. It's actually breaking my system right now.
He's oozing excitement.
I am literally dripping with excitement. So, like I said, I'm excited to see this foldable phone. I'm curious to know, what do you guys think? Are you interested in this? Do you think this is going to be something that is going to be amazing? Do you think it's going to be a failure? Do you just think that it's dumb? Let me know. I want to hear the reasons why you think that, because if you think it's dumb, well, then you're an iOS youth. Oh no!
I took another nibble at their donut.
I'm sorry. I'm kidding. I love all you guys equally, but thank you guys so much for joining. Yeah, that's it right. I did. I don't know why I had to think about that. Thank you guys so much for joining us. God, geez. Okay, going again. Thank you guys so much for joining us on another episode of Nerd Talk. We appreciate it as always. If you guys enjoy, leave a like on this video. Let us know your thoughts on what we talked about. Like I said, if you guys are interested in any of the stuff we discussed, links will be in the description below. Again, check out my boy Gnosis and his new series, We Have Fallen, or otherwise you're going to be falling off a bridge. Guarantee it.
Is that a threat to people?
No, that's not a threat. That was love.
Oh, you can threaten people with love.
No.
It's called kidnapping.
No. What? What are you doing? Get Shh. You're saying too much. But as always, appreciate Ken for joining me on another Nerd Talk. We love doing this.
I love being here. It's always a good time.
The king keeps rising and I keep falling.
Off that bridge.
But again, make sure you guys are subscribed to the YouTube channel so that way you can see more of these episodes. And make sure you guys are also following me on Twitch. So that way when we start going live again, you guys are informed, because we are going to be going back to doing live streams. I might be doing them a little bit differently from here on out. I don't know yet. We'll let you know. And then, of course, make sure you guys are following me on all the social medias. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Make sure you check out Ken's Twitch and Twitter, because he will start posting there if you at least show that you care.
Yeah, if you show you care, I'll start caring back.
Show you care, he'll show he cares back. The king does not respond to you, you respond. That's how we work it. Until next time, guys, Daniel's Tech King Ken Rises. We'll see you guys in the next podcast. And remember, stay tech.
Easy one.